Forum is yours.
So, all right. So I'll begin by saying it's my first time here, and I'm not sure how the usual structure is on sharing. But of course, I'll just go ahead and share my experience with spirituality and just going deeper into the nature of existence and all of that, right? So this, I mean, what I'm going to share today here is a quick story from 2020 when the pandemic had set in, and there was a lot of things which were kind of impacting my life at that point of time, and that was the first trigger for me to actually start, or rather look or reflect on uh, life in a bit of more deeper way, in a deeper way, like trying to find meaning of life and stuff like that. So it kind of took me on a journey on studying more about meditation. I've grown up in a culture where meditation is pretty much common. It's, we've heard about it all the time, but it's not something I personally experienced or thought of even, right? So it's not like I ever got a chance in all these years to even sit down and experience like what it is to close your eyes and just be calm, rest your mind. I had only heard of these things as a concept. Uh, so I did start reading a few books and watching YouTube videos, and but that was my starting point essentially. And what happened in a period of 3 months was very transformative. Uh, the first thing was a true meditative session, which in my experience was like I got up from that thinking, oh, so this is what meditation is, right? So till then, it was to me as a concept wherein you sit with your eyes closed in the in the lotus position or some position that the Padmasana position and all of that. We had seen all of these as images, but never truly understood what it means, right? So then I started exploring a bit of yoga and meditation. Uh, I got into a specific form of mudra called the Shambhavi, and that's something I tried a few times. I failed. Of course, I would sit in for the first 15, 20 times. It was for me just sitting and thinking my own thoughts, which were generally there, and not really. I mean, till that point, I thought it was great meditation. I was like, I would get up after 15 minutes of sitting eyes closed and feel like, wow, this was great, a great meditative session. Uh, and that was great. But then one fine day, actually, it was I remember the date, it's 20 October 2020. Uh, and I got into a meditative session, and within the first 5 minutes, uh, I'm sorry, I cannot actually say how many minutes. I have no recollection of time from the point I sat to the point I got up, right? So, and that to me was an experience of probably 5 minutes, but when I came back, it was more than 1 hour. And that's when I came out realizing this is what meditation, the true experience of meditation was, right? So that was my first experience to what it probably meant to be in that mudra. Uh, and so that was that was the part wherein I realized very quickly, looking at the watch, that this was something real. But not just that, it was also the message which I received, or probably it was my own self. I have no explanation as to what happened, but then the way I was trying to understand a deeper fundamental explanation behind who we are as individuals, as a collective consciousness, whatever it is. And the it was, the messaging was so clear that I have a hard time explaining how it even got to me, right? Maybe I must have heard of it, read it somewhere in the book. I have no idea, but it was a great message that came across to me, and I'm sure it must be my own subconscious. I have no idea. I'm here to share this and hear from you if it was what I experienced was is the same thing that you have experienced as well. But I did come out with a very clear message about the fact that we are part of a globe. I mean, the entire thing is a consciousness. Yeah. So yeah, that was the biggest thing that I came out with, like, is that we're all part of a single consciousness. There are no two consciousness, right? So that was the very first clear stock message. The second thing was, we are essentially, we are in a three-dimensional movie, right? And the three, or however many dimensional, I don't know, but it's a limited number of dimensions than what we experience in a meditative state. Once you're deep into it, you see that you are probably a state higher than what you are when you are in the regular 3D space, right? And the fact that just the way a movie is a series of frames of video, there are pictures in a series with audio, right? Our life is a series of connected emotions. And so we are a string. What we are experiencing as life is a string of emotional steps, which you just go through. That's it. And the reason you are experiencing it in one direction is not in your control. It's something which we are supposed to experience. So yeah, that was my experience of very clear messaging, and it actually, it created an awakening inside of me in a way that I look at things differently from that point onwards. So that's been my story, and that's a short version. Of course, there are other things as well, but I think for my first session, I think that's what I would like to share.